Troy, a couple of weeks ago, Perth County OPP released a media statement that in Mitchell, a 50-ish-year-old male was being served a warrant. And upon arriving at the residence, he was cutting his grass on a riding lawnmower, and he was impaired. He was charged for that. It generated a lot of commotion in the community about charging somebody on private property and even on a riding lawnmower. So what is the law regarding this?
Certainly, I mean, when we look at the different laws, there's a couple that may apply in this case. While I can't speak, obviously, about this particular incident, I can talk in general. I mean, we deal with the Highway Traffic Act, which tips motor vehicles on a roadway. However, under the Criminal Code of Canada, which impaired driving falls under, it's a criminal offense, it deals with anywhere. So when we deal with a criminal code offense, if you're driving your vehicle impaired, which is again a criminal code offense under the Criminal Code of Canada, that can be anywhere. So if you're driving your vehicle or what's considered a motor vehicle under the definition of the criminal code, you could be charged in a parking lot. So for instance, using another example, if somebody were driving impaired in a mall parking lot, that's private property, but they could still be charged with impaired driving. Same with in a private driveway or on private property, you could be charged with impaired driving. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize. Now, when we deal with Highway Traffic Act offenses, such as driver's licenses or insurance or things of that nature, which are provincial offenses, they typically apply to public areas, so the roadways. So if you're on your private property, there aren't requirements to have a plate on your vehicle or you to have a driver's license, because that deals with provincial law versus federal law.
So people, like I grew up on the farm.
Yep.
So people, kids driving out in the fields, and we had, the bikes, and we used to get in the pickup truck and drive, you'd be 12 years old driving out there.
Yep.
That's okay because that's on private property.
Yeah.
Like it's probably not recommended, but still, if somebody's out there and they have a few wobbly pops in the barn, in the shop, and then they decide to go touring around the field, they can be charged for that.
That's correct. I mean, certainly I am not saying that it's okay to go and if you're underage, but if you're on your own property and let's say driving a truck or something like that, yeah, but the thing is if there is a criminal offense, let's say something happens and somebody's injured, there may be some criminal negligence in that case, so that may still apply. So it's where you cross over the line between, provincial offenses into the criminal area. The criminal code applies to anywhere. So
really, there's that huge liability sign hanging over you if you're doing stuff like that, even on a farm.
Certainly, I mean, if you were driving a truck on your own property without a driver's license, now again, it depends on what you lost your driver's license for, because then again, we get into whether or not it's a federal, whether you've lost your license because of a criminal or federal offense or provincial offense. So it can get kind of tricky, but people should know that if they're committing a criminal offense even on their own property, they could potentially be charged, such as impaired driving.